I am found here at my address at this midnight hour, 5 minutes past from this midnight, this Sunday, April the 3rd, 2016. You know, there is something which Adonai needs to say. And Adonai asked me, not schizophrenics, not delusional, not accent for religious, not lie, El Chai, Sumi, his ever after belonging or person that he owns, property, forever shall. That are the fact of the reality. I have been working so long. And this so long were permanently evangelistas of Guillermo Arrasio and Osvaldo Carnival, making the part of diablos criminales, degenerados hechiceros, nazis y Sodoma y Gomorra, which always were, with the pardon of so few, which were permanently persecuting me with the teller, the generation chat, with them SIDE, Servicio de Inteligencia del Estado Argentino, with them Policía Federal Argentina, Sodoma y Gomorra, and making and giving the right elemental that we see today with KIRSCHNERS, non-stopping. For the whole that I were working with the United Nations institution for the science and technologies for the United Nations called Your World, which is exactly institutions to respect that doesn't have to do with Argentina never had. So since the beginning I have been working with them and delivering to professors, which 804,204 were murdered, but we cave in decent graves. At the fighting for the humanity, while perrazos degenerados of Iglesia Agassiz Street, 280 Buenos Aires, 290, and the whole associated 8,405 brothels like that of degenerados criminales de cuarta, associated in the whole of the crime of the world for the taking Jewish and whoever court, about to making up with Kirchner's, Peronistas, and Chavistas, Lulistas, Materistas, Pinochetistas, and any degenerate around Latin America, as in the world, for the making up cases with any associated inside polices, inside armies, for the making murders and destructions, and invention with any associated inside powers of justice and forensics and scientifics, over-institutionalized for criminology all over the world, all criminals just like them, for the capturing people and robbing to them anything they would ever have, and delivering them into rape and murder, the solutions of Luciano Troiano. For this is world that now turns to be calling Buffon to trying to make the job of arranging and trying to run the voices for everything to be gadgeted and covered. Desperated, like perras criminales, that were permanently making the same terror chat about me, telling that I, with my people, were robbing. So since 2003 and so before, never stopped doing well. I wanted to do a business, maricas y perras of Guillermo Arrasio Prey, prostibulario de degenerados y criminales, which were always and will die like that. Were with perros, SIDE, Policía Federal Argentina, Prefectura Naval Argentina, Gendarmería Nacional, Kirchner's and Peronistas accusing me to rob them with mind control. And were permanently. And since 1990, were doing this to me. With Guillermo Arrasio Prey, making trabajo de brujas y de perras de Sodoma y Gomorra, whichever one is, which still does. Now, spreaded the sickness and the fever of perras de cuarta criminales baratos ferales, whichever one is considered of profaning a little bit anointed and making best like, brody, sisti, I am a Christian as well, you know, and I am a church and Lord has mercy, and Lord respects the anointed, I am an authority. Degenerados, perras infernales, making these games with carnivals, cabreras, and acondias crudos. Mateas and others. And through the reality this, and the clear fact and the reality of this all, that while and through this all came on happening, that while and through this all were around, that no one ever stopped to making what they are doing and they kept on making. And no one ever stopped to doing what they dared to keep on doing, even today. Delaying, they had rights and they were authorities and they handled power, divine power of heaven. And in base of that, criaturas reventadas infernales, making the whole of the business and mask of Gestalt and the whole invited. The reality of this and through, and for the putting in clear. This is something clear about, and something that I'm going to staff unlocking it. The clear of the problem and the clear of the blurry psychisch what plevis vaser. Unlocking more one fact about and one truth on all. Glegi borre fechal chama blegi sos legi reves pas legi sos shesi. In legi morre fechal tignis patnese. Am blegi borre fechal blegi morre sochish vasi. Ishmasemar. I wanted making furniture production and started making that I would rob them with my control, but they were making terrible job and figuring it out whatever to rob it to me. With Gendarmería Nacional, like in Don Torquato, for having also my D1 driving professional license on my DNI, which is the number of my ID. Over a couple of degenerados working for Gendarmería Nacional and José León Suárez said, Policía Bonaerense, País Oftes, that also told me that if I wanted to denounce, I had to come until the police station, and that would be so damaged and so disaster and so days that I had to go back and I had to stay there and I had to wait for about. And in the middle of an extortion, in the middle of a reality that I was handling all kinds of things, which Guillermo Reciprén and Osvaldo Carnival, Omar Cabrera, Carlos Anacondia, with Perdon Victimas were permanently doing. With them, Peronistas and KIRSCHNERS already. So since that date, well, this sketch and made up the whole of the shit already that I'm going to show us even here, happened the clear fact of certain elemental point. I used to driving and I used to having my ideas of one day making an enterprise of cars, thinking on the ES mark, trademark, in Buenos Aires that used to be in Citroën 3CD, that were ES, America, here in Buenos Aires that I wanted to buy. I went until the INTI seeking for the owner and I taken the data, making the prayer for some miracle I had received. And I went around while these extortions in those brothels for a few times, expecting miracles I can reach and expecting something I have. And the extortions with perros, maricazos, degenerados, Osvaldo Carnival, Guillermo Reciprén, Omar Cabrera, Juan Crudo, Carlos Anacondia, y milicos de mierda and KIRSCHNERS, with Peronistas behind. And in the middle of this all, I were making my prayers and awaiting for miracles that I will ever proceed with. And my proceed with will ever be asking for some possible loan on the condition of possession by the financial entity. for I to produce and go to paying month and another what I will ever keep on working for produce, which in Buenos Aires never existed. But with the hope that I may find something like that, or some help, or some Avi, send me angels like you have done before. In those times I used to say, like you done to Elia, while he were needing for something and you sent the provision that he needed to go on. And in the middle of this all started happening weird things, and the weird things started happening differently. And the difference where I thought about that I was making a revivals like the crucier design of Chrysler, like New Beetle thing, like much other have done reminiscent, like Fiat 500. I will do with Citroën 3 CV, my possible revival for some wider, comfortablest, newest, and with better Tivashvasim best power. And about Laki Mohavesahishvasinim, that's what I already did, but never in China. And also Citroën on right, revivals today. At the reality for Bleki Mohavefechal Hilitzokman Shechalacham Baplevisasim. Should I say the word? Putas reventadas of Guillermo Brain, diablos degenerados deflectivos, diablos gestalt, organized with the whole of the criminals and making the switch out, psicópatas, putazos, hijos de puta, which always were. Making the job of the Bleki Mohavefechal Visvika Mahrem Fahmatsen, and Bleki Mohavefechal Division and preparing the field because of everything we're just roaming. And I were wanting to making a company for making indumentaria, equipment for sport, with sport shoes, suits, and some elements for passive gymnastic, which also will work for what it is, physiotherapy. And this were really interesting because of I saw styling neoprene for what it is windsurf and surf suits. And thinking about DMIC connectors to making the plugging or switching or making the job, which were with patent with some friends that I got for the working also for physiotherapy and kinesiology. And it's amazing for the what is rehabilitation for the normal as the whenever you go for the Avitronics product or something. And suddenly like a very element for the using for whatever also not necessarily to go directly to a training so extensive, but having a very normal state for reliably making a very best exponential for whoever sported the CITMC state or sportology delivered for any professional for sports. Whatever elemental need for development at the discipline to deliver the need for whoever to be. Which we done, but not they, us. Which dare to say since then, when I were only doing some things and thinking also certain other things in my trust, my drafters to making cars, vans, wagons, and any other designs like I were thinking about making furniture, tables with a very deco, with mulchers, with the whole of the BRT and CMC in wood, in so Bergavismargavisim, animal Blefasmasim, and chairs, in a design so the way, and sofas, couches, and any other class of things, beds, organizers like the last we have done with Dovio. And so much other, and also helicopters, and also crafters, and also thinking about how will be the difference on my future. And over that all, wrapped back in Gendarmería Nacional y Policía Bonaerense and delivered for, we are researching, but a couple of criminales de cuarta, like these maricas y putas, hijos de putas, over the world, which are charged to using permanently with a couple of coins for making this class of things. So, evangelistas reventadazos putazos argentinos are exactly this class, and lives for this, with the partners of you, are all involved in the whole of the mersa de putos y putas, milicos, trolazos y putas fuerzas armadas, KIRSCHNERS, peronchos y cada forrazo hijo de puta de esta puta tierra, with the whole of the association, the rest of the world. criminales putazos de mierda, delincuentes de cuarta, pedófilos putos criminales, Sodoma y Gomorra, y zoófilos, cada Kirchner. Now, the reality of this, and I'm sorry, the words, the terms, which doesn't match us with the holy figure, the holy appearance. I declare fact that neither with the name of El High, and neither with Elebron, neither with diplomats, or any liaison office. Sorry. I declare fact that the reality for this, where this putas y putazos keeps on playing the bruja puta fatal, querida autoridad de Dios, profanándome para hacer el negocio del trabajo, estoy haciendo el video yo, y él puso esas palabras, y yo hice todo y me robó la información. Putazos degenerados, trolazos infernales que no paran hasta que los mato. Policía Federal, Servicio de Inteligencia del Estado, militares, Gendarmería Nacional, KIRSCHNERS, evangélicos. Putos infernales de Sodoma y Gomorra. At the clear fact and the reality and survey in the words have never matched. The fact on I have been doing something and trying to make my job and thinking of the possibilities also too. I will receive money from Nelly del Valle Vázquez and Sandra Nieva. These were a very trials that were happening here in Buenos Aires that supposedly my uncle Roberto told me I to approach, but he always drove me for shit and never were by my side to the giving no hand. And once he gave me a hand, also after came with a very marica reventadoso putazo trabajando con Fuerzas Armadas y Policía Federal, playing peronista puto fatal, totally euphorically for some chunky stuff and some business around of criminal hijo de puta, Bobadilla, which also said, oh, but you told me the last number that, oh my god, and that matches that, you have a problem on mind. Expertise on the supposed demons cases. Well, I had this, and I had this, let's humanity upon, the supposed representation that never fixed nothing but arranged some coins in the bucket, some blowjob in a very putazo degenerado on gallons, and a boast around. Like after that, putazo hijo de puta, started to arranging around, but using this also, Roberto, for the taking to him 100,000 pesos with putazos tribunales, Kirchners, that were permanently making this class of chaps with putazos, evangelistas that were all behind with the 20%. Telling that he were making embezzlement to the Mutual, where he were working like the management, about Bobadilla offered, no, bring the money right now that we're going to make business with ISA. Aníbal Fernández making this permanently and put at 904,000 corporations with this perro degenerado and the whole Paris Soviet at the front and robbing to them. And after that, saying Policía Federal Argentina descubrió todo y lo probó, robbing to the ones that were the prey. Like Kirchners have been living permanently in this. Casta de degenerados criminales baratos y perrosos putazos asesinos y genocidas. Brujas de mierda, putazos de Sodoma y Gomorra. So in the middle of this reality, further this, putazos de Guillermo Premios Valdo Carnival telling that I were in something rare. And I were trying to rob to the corporations and manipulating the system like the 1996, that were another arrangement of putazos of Guillermo Horacio Pren, Policía Federal Argentina, delivering that Ana Maria Pepi, after Sandra Cerulo destroyed my mouth over odontology and not briefing me that she had damaged me clinically, and giving me a very abandon of patient for about 1 month and a half taking medications, antibiotics, were supposedly the periodont will ever just come down and she will ever keep the child off of my OSECAR that were all in complicity, like this tierra de putas, making the accommodation and catching before anything to happen and helping the professional. at the reality that I had no coverage yet no more. And I just came, okay, I pay to you, but fix this to me. No, I can't. You keep on taking the medications. And I came on discover that she made an abandon of patient and a damage to my person. And accommodating in Facirto, Juzgado Penal Tributario Argentino, número 16, y Correccional número primera no criminal, arranged behind with the one that delivered, Graciela Susana Reyes, arranging with these putazos of Guillermo Aracebrain, and seated, Ejército Argentino permanently behind, with no one to be noticed, neither I. The Chapom, I will be manipulating the system with lies and with all class of an organization and weird thing that I will be lying and I will be the negligent for my state of health. And putazos evangelistas behind saying, oh yes, of course, and we know that. And taking coins about as well, which happened already, making the business inside what it were, Poder Judicial de la Nación. Now and through that, I will be doing that with Nelly del Valle Vasquez and Sandra Patricia Nieva, that also making the denounce at Colegio Público de Abogados with putazos, carnival sprains and Policía Federal Argentina behind. Ah, para esto, porque no sabe lo que está diciendo y haciendo. And forget the words I'm using, but suddenly at this day and at this moment is certain extra that is not only which it can be happening already. I have been saying enough. What exactly the reality that those putazos degenerados creídos de disciplina y barra de magistrados de la nación, especialmente una puta vieja reventada, creída de derecho y señora, matona, puta, amazona, de todos estos degenerados de cuarta, como toda puta cabrona, feral, creída de señora y de derecho de matar a quien se le cante, tomar la vida del que se le canta como se le ocurre, accommodating the whole of the situation on, you're so passionate, so fired, but we don't find no bad in them, they didn't do no wrong. Training me as an also, so motive for the mobile and the whole of exciting thing to putting in orders and deliver the reality, but they, pendejos hijos de puta, putazos criminales, team found the arrangement and the one covers another and are all the same class of shit except for few. Esta puta ciudad se las trajo todo el tiempo y sus malditos amigos. Then at that reality for the soul, putazos evangelistas going behind saying he wants the manipulating and needs the mechanism, denouncing and expecting the money to come. With the rest of putazos degenerados saying that they were permanently pursuing me and they will discover and finding out everything on the stage of putazos degenerados parties, making the witch shit, profaning, teller chat information, captives machine, kidnapping people, destroying people, taking from people out for whatever mechanism. Robbing, destroying fortune, and proceeding about to robbing and saying, we had it all and we done, and not him, and he's stolen and shot you, of course. So what the reality of this, I have been since then, just making what I just were doing in the little Valle Vasquez, were a fraud, like always have been, and asking people's money to making cases against La Caja Nacional de Ahorro Seguro, which supposedly some insuredness that I will never just take no money. The stocks of Telefónica of Argentina, because of I have no idea how to proceed with this. On the fraud that Banco de la Ciudad de Buenos Aires, with Gobierno de la Ciudad de Buenos Aires, with Domingo Cavallo, Ministerio de Economía, Carlos Saúl Menem, Evangelistas Unidos, Guillermo Aracebrain always were in the middle, and this is not a lie. And perros putazos, sí, the Policía Federal Argentina handling the manipulation of the business for no one to lose with Telefónica of Argentina and Telecom Argentina, robbing to the people with nobody had to know what possibility to the law about the programa de participación participada de propiedad, que fue propiedad o programa de propiedad participada. Employees by the old entail that I were employed and trying to to saying that I never worked for the covering also this, and holding ounces at liaison office and proved, trying to murder liaison office, that I've shown that they stole to me and to everybody the stocks that Class C were worth for about cents paid, but came to be the complete Class A in Wall Street today, $200 piece. And I were paid 53 cents. With no will for and not knowing how to do what, and robbed to me what I had rights to keep. Like always, puta tierra de mierda, de putazos hijos de puta, toda clase, to making this class of things. Using people for the making the cleaning with the shit they exist, like with toilet paper, to take benefit. So en medio de los tesol, putazos evangelistas y putazos CIDE, Prefectura Naval Argentina, Policía de Seguridad Aeroportuaria, antes PAM, Policía Militar Aeroportuaria, milicos putazos, peronistas, macristas, kirchneristas, Policía Federal Argentina, Gendarmería Nacional, making up this class of things and shit, while I were denouncing and proving what were happening and seeking for murdering liaison office, International Court of Justice, United Nations, GovIL, GovUS, and any other around. The situation is that they were denouncing for anyone to come around, and then I had the chapter trying to take care of the people, and suffering my states and my situations and what were accusing me for, that I will be the beast and preparing the whole of the generations and situations, telling whatever the shit around for the making some coins. And Guillermo Horacio Brain were exactly the clase de puta de mierda that were blow chopping putazos argentinos with a uniform for the making this job, and the whole puta reventada de ese maldito prostíbulo follows the career. Nice the same. Now, the reality of this, and I'm sorry the words, so true. Still today, whenever we started working, somebody just wondered, when are you going to start? And when I ever started happening the things like I started to denouncing what were happening, but before I just made it in the brothel of Osvaldo Carnival, Perroso hijo de puta de Sodoma, some elements of projects that I thought it would be good, because if I thought at the place that I were as social, I would found some class of space for I to cooperate about making some ideas and some elemental new. Telling putazos of Guillermo Horacio Brain and they supporting that I would wrap to them the idea for a truck with the capacity not to open in two, but coming with some, the ones that were used for sodas, Coca-Cola example, which are so low, under and up stage with a very element for making up or moving toward, like cyber, and under the whole of the elements to making up the supporting for the stage for the making missions. Christianism. Missions of the trouser of Sodoma and Gomorrah and some coins of the bucket with, is what they dedicate to the pardon of victims. Now, the reality is, and it's exactly this, perrazos hijos de puta, putazo criminal de cuarta, never were any other, and it's what they dedicate. I'm sorry the terms, and which takes a little power, makes a hocus pocus, power, and goes ahead for the business, is what they do, with the pardon of few, to the few. Now the reality of this is exactly the point on the bleki errarfehuat lachmakaman. Fel chapma, bapleki maravasili. Ample rabefoch vatikach had helimat levesachma halisan ampleki maravapor, in sosleki maravasili. So suddenly the reality of this all just happened to bleki maravaspokavasili, such a scene, and I wanted a building where I thought for el prostibulario de putas y de degenerados y de criminales baratos y de brujas de cuarta, matonas, malevos, machos, de degenerada puta de Sodoma, o palo carnival. Will this be slander and crime? Am I making bullying damages? Are you sure? ¿Quién es la puta y la marica de Dios? Putazo carnival. ¿Y quién miente? ¿Y quién es místico? Trolazo, brujazo, puto criminal. ¿Quién carajo arregla los mercados de la puta federal contra mi gente y contra los judíos? ¿Y quién soporta los putazos de Prein yendo con los trolazos de Sodoma y Gomorra con él? Dame la plata que me robó, $78.000, que se robaron esos mismos que vos también encubriste con lo que vos decís que te roba vos. yendo a 5.300 millones de tipos en todo el mundo, judíos en especial, para robarles las compañías y todo lo demás, diciendo que ellos habrían guardado el dinero en todo el mundo, robando ahora 197.000 decayones de dólares con empresas y casas y autos para decir que ellos van a levantar la hermosa. Para las misiones del Señor de lo que supuestamente yo les habría robado, que no les di el sello del label, el sobre de la ofrenda. Sería un documento que yo habría firmado. And in the middle of this all, the reality of some building with the deco yellow, on the blue out black and blue crystal all over, upon the radio, and some chambers for whatever the elemental practices for any professional for helping at the people communities, to the giving therapy, therapists, for whatever the medicine to be in, for whatever the practices, for whatever the elementals making, I don't know, music, rehearsal rooms, with some, I don't know, staging or praying or making some events around salons and any other, and under a restaurant or a coffee shop with some events and some stage for them, making some class of a piano bar, some special place for them, making some communities that they call while each as week or monthly they to taking and raising money for the making the events for to killing the population. But no, they want sales teams for the running to people and covering everything for the power. Instead making something to have sense for the reality of giving and not taking. Pedazos de mierdas. And third to saying that are brought up to Guillermo Supreme. And other, which were a third project. Lekimo Rabefechal Matlechi Sotim, Slekimo Rabefech Divisos Levisesh Basamak Lekamaram, Verrobesech Lahamat Levisin. And I signed it in a folder to giving to Osvaldo Carnival and Putasso Fabiana Gonzatanales. Third to taking, oh, keep me, I'm gonna check. And he taking my signature and signed it, forging the documents of the Transit 93 con techo alto, furgon, my work, my gift, 9,004 properties, the people that wanted to bless me, telling that the whole of the Blair Vecinisim trustee, brother, sister, where is this person? Oh, I don't know, we're around Carnival. Oh, I'm gonna keep it, don't you worry. And forging and taking houses with Putazos Comisaria 12, which were not everyone, but the Putazos Sodoma that they are business with. And inside that brother of the generates, with Putazos KIRSCHNERS and Putazos making the trials now for the whole that supposedly they discovered and proved that I will rob them with GovIL and GovUS and License Office and United Nations. At the reality of tribunales, de putos reventados criminales de cuarta, queridos jueces y señores, y fiscales, will ever just prove that making the, we're gonna research, don't you worry, en putazos policía federal, jugando a los señores yo lo sé todo, delirando de que me conocen y que me pueden calificar, con inventos, falsificaciones y putos que con una moneda se las chupan y dicen, ay, digo lo que quieras. Con una moneda, cualquier cosa. And that will be gobierno de la República Argentina, ejercicio de justicia. Y de investigación federal, nacional. And the rest makes the same. But the ones that are murdered and destroyed permanently. Now the reality. Evangelistas es una historia de putos nazis y degenerados criminales en la República Argentina que son diques para la población jugando con la fe y el poder, que es lo que necesitaban. Y todo lo masón del mundo y lo nazi se focalizó acá porque sabían 1973 fue descubierto y nací acá, fui descubierta. Y lo necesitaban así. Now, tierra de putas y de putazos hijos de puta, con el perdón de víctimas, happened the reality of, oh, qué maleducado, no puede estar hablando así, ¿no querés escuchar? Escuchar los términos que identifican la realidad, porque ciertamente puta maleducada, puto maleducado. Sos exactamente la clase de degenerado que tapa por cualquier excusa la justificación de ser una manga de reventados hijos de puta que andan reventando la vida de cualquiera creyendo que tienen derecho de, y tomando lo que no se les da. Entonces, puta cleptomotefóbica, anda la reputa que te parió. Now, sorry for the terms, anyway, forget me please, I'm sorry. Other reality for the soul, whenever Adonai just brought me back and gave me the conscience, okay, get off, Elia, come on. Una puta marica, insert, considered of the right ones and morals, saying, Elias puto, y terminó puto muerto por todos los siglos. Now the reality, and I'm sorry for that, I am not puto, never will, it never happened, but the market of putazos degenerados, uniformados, milicos, trolos, putazos de cuarta, y todo puto reventado, querido Señor de la Tierra. Con los evangelitas putitas, que son como ellos y de ellos, de sus braguetas, excepto por las víctimas. Now the reality for this, putas K, made them the complete of the administration. And the reality were exactly what we concluded. Macri have done the same. Other reality for this, I were trying to focalizing, and Adonai tells me, December 22, 2004, get off of here. And putazo lamon satanales y su puta y su putos. Making business with putazos friends y putazos degenerados Sodoma y Gomorra for the making career, robbing and making whatever they want, like normally always were doing. Suppose lying, slander, and damages that I should pay, supposedly. Now the reality for this, January 1st, I started working with Adonai, and we started doing under threats that this perros hijo de puta of Carnival and Crane were permanently trying to, putting the fall in the way, the trap, and cooperating to putazos, Ejército Argentino, Policía Federal Argentina, Prefectura Naval Argentina, Gendarmería Nacional y putazos K y putazos peronchos for they doing what we see today. They were trying to leave, and they were trying to get out, and they were trying to never being around here no more, but they stole me on the thread $4,348 of the what were given to me for the stocks of Telefónica that today will be that Telefónica of Argentina handles with these putos reventados that says that won't pay to me because I will also damaging them, the same Telecentro y Claro Argentina. And these putas evangélicas saying that they are going to fight, the properties are not going to pay them because it will be of the Lord that belongs to me. And there's to remain and destroying my life saying that ain't not going to change and I should never learn because of I will rise against the authorities. The whole that God belongs to me and already were in auction for the pain to the victims that they caused at the Jewish population and others. Related on me permanently, everyone. Accusing me to being the beast, this puta de Sodoma y Gomorra never stops until day to day, and this is going to happen. They are going to die and go in hell. Now the reality for this, the clear fact of all, is that keeps on making the slaughtery of market of puta brujas de Sodoma y Gomorra, telling that my pieces are going to formate, expertises and taking everything out, and they are going to make so much business. Here as in all of the world, but terror chap of puta reventada. Nos roba con control mental. Los evangélicos, ¿viste los programas? Kidnapping engineers and professors and responsibles of science and technology of the states. While this last journeys of the United Nations with Mauricio Macri cooperating and giving the chap and the path forward. For the supposed research that they will ever found, robbing technologies from the states and threatening of death to presidents of the states and to liaison office. With a lot of complicity of the organized world of cybercrime, with this class of techniques of national security to making el puto bravo reventado argentino chap, for the making the terror chap and trying to putting the victim like if there will be the criminal and the putazo degenerado as if that will be the example in the name of Luciano Troviano, brujo, diablo, puto del infierno, como ellos. So in the middle of this all, Pleki Magrafejal, Givitat Lesin, putas evangélicas are exactly the same, and I were working for them making some way up for the survival to humanity with El Chai, and pardon for the term Sodom, Israel and Iran. Mr. President, Your Honor, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people. for the killing the best ever for this to be something different. That these putazos degenerados ones to possessing the whole of the world, saying that corporations, governments, institutions, United Nations, and whatever to be, even universities, and whatever the title, whatever the person, they will fucking kill, and possessing everything, saying that they will be everything, and will ever belong to them, by kidnapping, making the terror trap, forcing, torturing, and frightening, for there to be Kagan. Today, we prove it, it's ours. And find out how will this work and how will this be. For saying we will reproduce. Like, have you rehearsal? Did you? Okay, prove that everything is ours. On all I do. And is everyone impermanently. And the ones that says, I said first, don't you see? Exactly the same class. National security techniques of puta reventados Guillermo Perino, Osvaldo Carníbal, diablos degenerados creídos algo de Dios. Criminales putazos baratos y sus putazos de Sodoma y Gomorra, KIRSCHNERS, peronistas, Sodoma y Gomorra, ejército argentino, fuerzas armadas argentinas, UNASUR. And making forgeries and putos oportunistas por una moneda y una mamada y un poco de leche adentro. And I think you ask me, say, oh yes, it's all okay. And I'm not talking about my people. Or corrupted or ill. I'm talking about serviles hijos de puta, putazos ruines, bajos arrastrados por un pedazo de carne y una puta mierda. Y por una moneda. O por un poco de maracá. And declaring that they will be witnesses and have witnesses for them making this and saying, the state of Israel and the state of the United States of America counted against that. Like Macri coming to Mr. President Obama. For the making the job of, oh, we're friends, everything is okay. Oh, we have been problems having, and we're going to handle Argentina. Can you help us? And sending to Mr. President Roblina, and coming to your honors, International Criminal Court, license office, and to the Hague, license office, and wrote to us. And also this one, Alejandro Blanco, have been touching me and all, and I have a career. And behind of the whole of the stages after another, oh, I'm gonna have my career, I'm gonna be president of the world with this and its genetics and its, oh my god. And in the land, the liars and next time, just talk to the family. If you gotta fuck, come and fuck. Everything is okay. I have a career to take care of. Am I so wrong? Am I deflected? With putazos cuerpo médico forense? I told you, don't you see, it's fantastic. I cannot believe this. The only thing which matches is the just a little bit for the Blakemore clan, and we are so glorious founders. Everything's like we said, of course. Where is my money? Will you give me the brain for the, I want the sharpest. I want to feel the menorah, Blakemore. Can I?